Whether it's bath time in Bakewell, you're putting the kettle on in Castleton, or doing the dishes in Darley Dale, the chances are you'll be using water from Derbyshire's upper Derwent Valley. 3 huge reservoirs there feed almost all homes and businesses throughout the county, and as far afield as South Yorkshire, Nottinghamshire and even Leicestershire. And we're into the Peak National Park now, celebrating its 75th anniversary this year. And we'll be dropping down to the village of Hathersage and then going through Bamford to get up to the upper Derwent Valley. And you can see already how parched the moors are here in Derbyshire, where we've not had rain for 5 or 6 weeks now. And what an amazing view you get just here, looking straight ahead, right up the Hope Valley. Visibility today is absolutely splendid. But a warning, it's going to get really hot, maybe as high as 37 degrees today. Right ahead now on top of the hill, that's Carl Walk, where apparently there was an Iron Age settlement. And now we're just going to pass one of the most famous pub outposts in the city of Sheffield. And this is Fox House, a real landmark building. So yes, this little part of the Peak District is actually in the city of Sheffield. In fact, a huge chunk of Sheffield falls within the national park boundary. Look at the colours here, the green and the purple of the heather that's already sprouting. And now we're going past another landmark, Toad's Mouth, the little rock formation on the right there. And here the sign tells us that we're back into Derbyshire. And shortly we're going to be going past Surprise View, and I think with visibility as it is today, we'll stop there and take a look. Now the reason this is called Surprise View is because you either walk, pedal or drive along the road here with this view, and then you get to the corner and wow, look. Now quite often when I've been up to Surprise View in the past, I've found the ground up here to be boggy and squelchy. But look today, it's tinder dry. No wonder so many fires have been breaking out around the Peak District and elsewhere. Anyway, I better introduce myself. My name's Mike and you're tuned to Mike's Missions, and today's escapade is to go off to the upper Derwent Valley to check for ourselves on how the water levels are coping this summer. And what's usually soil up here has turned to dust. Look. Here we are, arriving in the village of Hathersage, and some Mike's Missions followers from months ago might recall we did a special film on this beautiful village. And because Mike's Missions is here in Hathersage, they've decided to put out the bunting for us. Thank you, Hathersage. And here's the fabulous open top bus, which takes people all around Derbyshire in the summertime, and we've done a couple of films on there, on the Peak Sightseer. What a great day out that is. So we now turn from the Hope Valley to the upper Derwent Valley and through the village of Bamford. Mike's Missions has been to Bamford before too. Do you remember our trip up the incredibly steep Bamford Clough? Possibly the steepest tarmac road in the world. Hello?
Oh, hi. This is Simon calling from the advisory group. I hope you're doing all okay today.
Yeah, I'm just working at the moment. Can you call me back after 4?
A quick courtesy call, really.
Yeah.
Sometime in the past, you or maybe your partner may have shown interest in either making a will or amending or making changes to an existing
Yes,
will.
we did do, but as I say, I'm just working at the moment.
You already have a will in place. May I interest you in a no obligation quote from one of our will writing specialists for any changes or amendments that you may be done to an existing will. This wouldn't be today, but over the next week at some point as per your convenience. Is this something I could interest you in?
Don't you just love it when you get calls like that, when it's your day off, or when you're out in the countryside, or even when you're at work? Here's the famous Yorkshire Bridge pub, and down below it is the River Derwent. Would you believe there are not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 River Derwents in the north of England? And just for good measure, there's another one in Tasmania. So we're not even halfway through August, and already this week the government has declared a drought in the East Midlands. Here in Derbyshire, this is the first reservoir we're going to visit today, and this is the massive Ladybower expanse of water, and you can see water levels are down considerably. I should think those anglers there will be quite happy, because having a drought, low water levels, means the fish are closer together. Look how dry it is here. Even the weeds are dead. But here in the shade, these blackberries seem to be thriving. Severn Trent oversee all 3 reservoirs we're going to look at today, and here at Ladybower they say that the capacity at the moment is 57% full. Not too bad, but water levels seem to be dropping quickly, looking at the figures for the last couple of weeks and the last couple of months. Now, Ladybower was built between 1935 and 1943, and it took 2 years to fill, so it wasn't actually full to capacity till 1945. Let's go and have a look elsewhere on Ladybower. Well, we have a beach down there, and there are even some seagulls around. Mike's Missions has been to this spot before when we came on our phantom bus journey to the village of Ashupton, which of course was flooded in the 40s to make way for this huge reservoir. I wonder if some of these rocks down here were from the old stone buildings in the village. Now when it's full, Ladybower holds approximately 6.1 billion gallons of water. That's 27.5 billion litres. But not this summer. You can see here where the water once was, it's retreated and some grass has started to grow. Now there might not be much water here today, but there's plenty of litter. Look at this lot. Something tells me this sign could have been here for a few months. And we're still following Ladybower here into the upper Derwent Valley. What a glorious day it is, and this part of Derbyshire always reminds me of Scotland. What do you think? Of course, as well as Ashupton village, which disappeared to make way for Ladybower, there was the village of Derwent too. And Derwent, sometimes in extreme cases of low water, you can see some of the foundations of the old village. Look at these cyclists in front. Look, no hands. See what I mean? You could be following the road along the side of a Scottish loch. And here we are at the Fair Homes Visitor Centre, and I think this might call for a bit of refreshment. Still overlooking Ladybower, and this is usually an expanse of water here, and now it's just a stream. You can see why water levels in these 3 reservoirs in North Derbyshire have dropped 12% in a month. Car park all paid for. Let's go and look for the tea room. Bottle of pop and a Cornish pasty. We'll have a look at the Lost Villagers Trail, I think, down this way. So yes, if you are enjoying this little exploration of the upper Derwent Valley, please like, add a comment if you've ever been here, and maybe subscribe as well. Look over there, grass is growing where the reservoir was, and over in the distance there's some sheep grazing on it. Yeah, who needs to drive all that way to Scotland? And there's clearly some stonework here, look. From the old village of Derwent, no doubt. These foundations. Now, a few weeks ago, if I'd been standing in this spot, I'd have been up to my thighs in water. But look now. It's turning green. Now, there is water here, but this river that normally pours into Ladybower, it's just a trickling stream. In fact, I think we can hop over it with a bit of luck. There we go. Let's head over this way, see what we find. Here we are then, stood in Ladybower Reservoir. And in this part of the valley, this is the expanse of the water. And every time you have a tea in Tissington, or you flush in Fullo, you're emptying this reservoir just a little bit more. On the surface here is like sand and dust, see, but underneath it's rock hard. And there's all sorts of vegetation growing here where the water once was. There's another couple here exploring around Ladybower, and I think they've come a little bit further than I have. Whereabouts are you two from?
From Hertfordshire.
Right, and have you been up this area before?
Yeah, we have. Not been here.
Yeah.
But I will return again when it's a bit wetter.
Yeah, because there's not a lot of water to enjoy, is there, out there?
No, and I was just saying to my wife that the water level, I suppose, would be right up here.
It would, yeah.
But we didn't know, until we see it again, we don't know how far it would come.
Yeah, well, I've seen it lapping right up here, and with waves on as well when the wind gets up as well. It's quite a scene today, and the geese are sort of wandering around, not knowing where the water's gone to.
Have you been up here since the hot weather?
This is my first visit this year. I've been up in previous hot summers, yeah.
And you've seen more water here?
I have, yeah, and to say we're still only in the second week of August as well, we've still got a few weeks to go, haven't we?
Yeah, and that's I think the problem is because obviously everybody's still using water, so it's dropping their reservoir levels.
Yeah.
And when we came up to see, hopefully the dam
Oh right.
In operation, but obviously that's going to be a while away before that starts.
Give that about 8 or 10 months, I think.
Yeah. When's the best time, do you reckon, to come and see that?
Well, when we've had lots of snow, when we have a lot of snow melting, and then the water just cascades over there. It's amazing. It used to happen quite regularly, but I must say it's a few years since I've seen it going over the top.
Oh, okay. So it's a rare thing to
It
see.
is these days, yeah. Especially with water levels like this. I mean, it'll take months and months to fill this.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So,
and obviously this will probably fill up because the dam, I take it, we walk that way, so the dam's that way.
Yeah.
So I take it this comes up, but it doesn't have no effect on the dam the other side.
That's right, and then there's another dam further up as well.
Yeah, well
yeah.
That's the way we're going next.
Yeah.
We're going to the plug hole.
That's right, yeah, yeah. That's it in Derwent Dam, and then there's Howden Dam further up as well.
Yeah.
So, and their water levels are apparently lower than this one, so
Oh, are they?
we'll see, yeah. These three dams together are the biggest areas of water in the country, the upper Derwent Valley. There's another dam in Derbyshire, Carsington, which has got more water in than this one, but that's just a single dam. But these three together, there's more water here than any other collection of dams in the country, apparently.
Yeah, because it really at the moment just looks like a river.
It does, yeah.
And a reservoir.
And I've jumped over it as well, which is something I shall tell to my daughter one day when it's in flood again.
We jumped over there.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, well that's quite an achievement, but not when you see it.
Yeah. Brilliant. Well, have a great time in Derbyshire.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. When we do get some rain finally this year, it won't fill the dams up straight away. All this parched vegetation, they'll be drinking it in long before there's a runoff into the reservoir. You'll recognise this as the massive dam wall that holds back Derwent Reservoir. Famous, of course, for its links with the Dam Busters Squadron. Now, the Derwent Reservoir is the middle of the three, and this was built between 1914 and 1916. And the current storage of water in here last week was 69%. That's not too bad at all. Let's go and have a look how close the water is to lapping over the top. Right, someone else here admiring the view, and again he's travelled a little bit further than I have. Whereabouts are you from?
We're from just near Norwich.
Right, and you're obviously up here to admire the hills.
Yeah, a bit of walking, bit of camping, enjoying the kind of the water, particularly in the heat at the minute. But
Yeah.
we also thought we'd have a little look at this.
Yeah, it's a stunning structure, isn't it? Amazing. And I can't imagine there are too many reservoirs like this in Norfolk.
No, definitely not. And we're kind of looking at it and thinking, if this is as low as it is here, I wonder what
Yeah.
ours is like. So,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, definitely. But an amazing structure, and we're really lucky to be able to see it.
Yeah, well, I'm just going to check what the water level is. You've already had a look, haven't you, behind the wall?
When we came down from the other side, yeah, and I couldn't believe just how low it was.
Yeah.
So
Right.
worth having a look.
I'll go and have a nosy then. Thanks ever so much.
Nice
Thank
to
you.
you.
Some of the memorials here dedicated to the men of 617 Squadron, the Dam Busters. And I must say, on Remembrance Day, my brother Andy used to play the last post here. No danger of the water lapping over there for a month or two, I don't think. Well, I have seen Derwent lower, but it's very, very low at the moment, of course. And there's no water running in. And yes, this is where the Dam Busters made all their practice runs. And it's not a Lancaster, but we've got a helicopter doing a fly past. There's Howden Dam, where we're heading next. Now, it's not part of our mission today, but this is Tin Town, or Birchin Lee as it was called, where the navvies lived who built the dams. And over the road here is a lovely memorial to them. Tin Town. I think the men who suffered and died during the construction of the dams were buried down in the village of Bamford, which we came to earlier. Isn't that a lovely memorial? And we've got tarmac melting here. You can see how hot it is. And this is the top dam in the upper Derwent Valley, the original one, Howden. And this lies in Derbyshire and Sheffield, South Yorkshire. Now, work commenced here on 16th of July 1901 and wasn't completed until 1912. 11 years to build this dam. And the current storage, I understand, is less than 40% of water. So let's go and have a look. No, I'll definitely not be doing that. This really is very low indeed. And you can see by the white marks on the wall where the regular water level is. I was going to say this really is a tranquil spot, but I've just had 2 cars go by and another one now. But normally this road isn't open when tourists are here. It's closed at weekends, it's closed on bank holidays. So you have to come up here Monday to Friday. And it's well worth it for these views. What an amazing sight this is. You could travel hundreds of miles for a view like this. This is Howden Reservoir. Been here for getting on for 125 years. And again, look at how this land that's emerged from the reservoir is turning green. Look down there, that is usually probably, what's that, 60, 70 feet higher? And it's just a little river in the bottom. You can see a stone wall there that's emerged, look, next to the water. I wonder what the story is behind that. Still, so tranquil here, you would never believe that we're probably equidistant between Manchester and Sheffield here. Well, Mike's missions can report that the upper reaches of Howden Reservoir are very nearly empty. Just a stream trickling down. And where once there was water, there are now sheep grazing. And it definitely looks like a farmer's field up here. Well, would you believe it? I think there's 1 or 2 properties up here in the upper Derwent Valley near Howden, and look, it's bin day. It had to be. So today's mission was to check the water levels up in the reservoirs in the upper Derwent Valley, and Ladybower was low, Derwent wasn't quite so low, but Howden was extremely low. So mission accomplished. Time to celebrate. Cheers.